everybody. You know who it is. This is Austin, and this is the Austin Smith Real Estate Podcast, where we talk about real estate and we talk about lifestyle. Today's guest is a pretty interesting story. I actually met this individual during my stint of trading currencies, trading Forex, and I got a chance to meet this individual, and he was actually my mentor at one point. But it's funny because I never knew that trading Forex was just a side hustle for him and real estate was a full time grind. That was his full time grind. So this guy, he's seen it all: residential, commercial, investment. He's done over 1,200 deals. The experience is there. So this particular episode, it is going to be extremely content heavy, a lot of actionable steps. It is extremely meaty with information. And, I was actually having a talk with my fiance recently, and I might be looking to make the episodes a little bit shorter, going into maybe the 30, 35-minute range at most. Um, but the combination of me liking to talk a lot and, that opportunity to kind of bring out as much content from my guests as possible, enough information, concepts, ideas, strategies, the more that I bring that out from my guests, the more that it can easily run up the clock. So, before we get into this episode, that's what I'm going to be looking to do in the future. Kind of cut down on the episode length a little bit to make it more easier for you to digest. So, before we get into the episode, a little bit of housekeeping. If this podcast was of major value to you and your business or lifestyle, please get on the Google, get on the iTunes. Please leave me a rating and review as we continue to share this message. And if you happen to know anyone that can benefit and add value to the Austin Smith Real Estate Podcast, please let me know. Let me know who they are. Guy, gal, doesn't matter. Shoot me an email, give me a call. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into the show. Today on the Austin Smith Real Estate Podcast, I have a special guest, and I'm happy to bring this individual on simply because, to me, he is the epitome of real estate and lifestyle, which is exactly the fundamental theme of this entire podcast. And it's ironic because I actually got a chance to meet this individual in my heydays of Forex trading, and I was able to find this individual on social media, and I believe it was actually stocktwits.com, which is a social media site for investors to share ideas and share analysis and things like that. And I'll never forget the aura, the vibe, the personality of this individual as he made successful trade after successful trade. It never ceased to amaze me. And, obviously as a social media profile, you get to tap into the lives of other individuals. And I've never seen this individual wear a suit. I've never seen this individual work in an office, in a cubicle, anything like that. To be honest with you, I've probably seen this individual more out experiencing life than I do actually see him work. But this individual has over 17 years of experience in the real estate business, from negotiating to financing to investing. He's seen every deal that you can out there. And listen, he's closed over 1,200 residential, commercial, and investment types of deals. This guy knows what he's doing, and it's awesome because he doesn't even look like he's doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Titus Davis. Titus, thank you for taking the time and coming on the show, man.
Thank you, Austin. I appreciate that. I appreciate
it. I know I gave you an awesome intro right there, but it is the truth. Like I never do actually see you work, but your resume is incredible. So we'll dive into that, right away. So just kind of
Absolutely.
give us an idea, how you got started, whether you want to take us 17 years back before getting into mortgages or,
Yep.
whether you just want to go professionally. Give us an idea how you started, how you came about.
Yeah, I started, I guess, about 17 years, about 2001. So I originally went to school to be a photographer. I was big into the arts. I wanted to be an artist. I went to school, got my degree in photography and digital imaging. Um, we had wound up having our own gallery and artist magazine at one point. Went out to California and assisted a couple celebrity portrait photographers, and I was just into the arts and loved it. I still love photography. I don't do it as much as I want to, which I will be getting back to doing photography because that's my happy place, shooting in studio. When we talk about lifestyle, I'm all about the art still. But when I moved back from California, I moved back to Indiana, and photography, a small town Indiana, photography was not popping off there at all. And at the time, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And my father at the time is like, hey, why don't you just come work for me? You could be a loan officer. You can work wherever remotely. And you can go do mortgages. And I'm like, I have no idea about anything about finances. I'm an artist. I take pictures. I know nothing about numbers and interest rates and all of that. And he's like, no, don't worry about it. All you got to do is go get an application and the processor will take care of the rest. And I'm like, I still don't know how to take an application. So it was a little learning curve. But the processor at the time was an amazing woman, and she helped me. So what I did was, it was all about networking. And I, growing up, 16, 17-year-old, would throw parties and would just love, it's, in essence, I was networking. So I love to be around people and a network. So what I wound up doing to get started, I'm like, I got a fax machine. He gave me a laptop. And I'm like, all right, let me try and find some realtors or somebody that can send me some deals. And instead of knocking on doors on individual realtor offices, what I did was I called the We Buy Home sites. Because I'm like, you know what? If they buy homes, they got more than one home. They have multiple homes, and I can help them. I can be their loan officer guy. So I called one of the sites and talked with the guy, and I said, hey, I know you got some properties. At that time period, we were doing 100% financing, 80/20s, B paper. I mean, you could get it. As long as you had any credit score, you'd get 100% financing back then.
Wow.
So what I did was I told him, I said, hey, I'll give you a break on your fees on how much I'd charge you, point-wise, if you teach me how to do real estate, how to buy and flip and sell homes. I'll give you a break and do your loans. I'll be your loan guy. And in exchange, teach me what you do. And to this day, Brent Benderly, he's actually, I think he works for Keller Williams down out in Florida now. He's still into real estate. I just talked to him about a month or so ago. He's still my mentor. 17 years later, I still hit him up and talk to him about real estate and whatnot. And that's what it was. Through him, he introduced me to other investors, and I started doing all of their loans. In exchange, they started wholesaling me deals, and I started picking up deals that they didn't want to do. There was still money to be made, but it didn't fit their criteria, and I was learning, so I was, buying anything and everything I could. And they taught me how to buy houses with no money down, taking houses subject to existing mortgages, the whole Ron LeGrand system, while I was doing loans. And so it's, for me, my real estate was a natural progression from doing mortgages to getting into flipping and buying and selling. And we did that up until '08, until the bubble popped. We wound up, so we were flipping houses in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And the lifestyle was great. The first house I bought had an indoor swimming pool. We threw pool parties, and we had a lot of fun. The problem was no one taught me how to manage that kind of money. So we're making 20, 40 grand a month. Nobody taught me how to. I'm 24, 23, 24, 25. Making that kind of money per month. I'm blowing it. We're going to dinners. I'm buying everybody this, and really blew through a lot of money really fast. We moved down to St. Louis because a buddy of mine had a mortgage company out there. Real estate was popping off out there. And he was like, hey, come down. I got hard money guys that'll give you the money. You come down, you can general the project, and we'll do some deals. So we wound up moving from Fort Wayne, Indiana to St. Louis, did a couple deals out there. We liquidated all of our assets that we had in Indiana. And right after we finished a deal in St. Louis in '08 is when the bubble popped. So then there's no more money. When we first moved down there, the house we bought to buy and rehab, we paid $20,000 for it. We put 60, 70 into it and sold it for 120 within a 3-4 month time period. By the time we were done and had that house sold, that same home that I paid 20 grand for, that was a shell, it was gutted, was now selling for 100. And then you'd have to put 100 into it, and then they were going for 250. So in that 3 to 4 month time period, that is how high that the market went. And then it was nothing to do but crash after that. That's not a market that's sustainable to increase like that. So
Right.
08, that bubble popped. So sitting there, I didn't have much of a savings. I had some savings, but I didn't have much because I was blowing money. And I'm like, I have no idea what we're going to do now because I can't do mortgages because there's no money. Lenders have tightened the rein, and I made more of a transition from mortgages to solely investing in real estate. So then I went commercial. So I went to doing commercial lines of credit, and I had about 3 or 4 different banks that I worked with that they would get my clients money for their small businesses and whatnot, and I get paid a broker fee for it. And we did that until that money dried up and popped. And we went so that was lines of credit. Then we went to commercial lending itself, doing restaurants, hotels, things of that nature. I wound up doing this with my dad. My dad wound up moving out to St. Louis when we moved to St. Louis, and he was doing commercial stuff. And that was in and around the time I think we met 2012, 2013.
Right.
And so the guy who originally had me move down to do flips and whatnot, he got into Forex trading. And he got me into Forex trading, and then that's when we started trading, doing currency and all that. So actually, that was probably what?
So it seems like
10 or so.
So it seems like you've had the uncanny ability to adapt, because like one of the things I wanted that you made me kind of mark on my notes it's just the mindset of a professional in real estate, whether it's mortgage, whether it's investors, whether it's agents. We all kind of share a common, some common themes that, I wanted to pull from you later. But it seems like you've had the uncanny ability to adapt to your surroundings. Okay, this is hot. Let me work with it. Okay, this is cooled down. Let me move on to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And, so that leads you to Forex. And it's so interesting because even when we met, I would have sworn that all you did was just Forex. And it's so interesting to see that, from the success that you've had and Forex, obviously not George Soros or Warren Buffett, success, but,
Right.
compared to everyone else, definite success.
Right.
And that was just a pit stop. Like
Yeah.
that was just something that, that was the next hot thing, at least for, in your life, in your journey at that time, at that time being just another pit stop. And it's so amazing that you've shown that ability to be able to adapt in different scenarios, because a lot of people would, either hang up their laces or go down with the sinking ship. Where do you
Shit.
think that
Yeah.
that what do you think that that's come from? And the other
Come
reason why I
from.
ask that is because, over the different careers, you've also lived in different states. Like, where do you think that that's come from? That ability to adapt and, okay, this isn't working, let me go after this.
I'm not scared to say that it didn't work. So many people are so, like you said, they will go down with the Titanic because it's unsinkable. So I will. There is absolutely, I don't have to get off the sinking ship if I see it taking on water, because I know it ain't gonna sink. That's not me. Give me a life raft. Let's go find another ship.
Right.
But so many people, it's like holding on to a losing trade. No, it's going to turn around. No, it's going to turn around. No, it's going to turn around. And all your money is gone. You're like, well, that never turned around.
And I got a couple of finance people that are listening to this as well. And they
Yeah.
taught, they knew I was heavily into Forex trading. Definitely got nowhere near as good as you. So I was able to adapt. It was just after a certain amount of time, and my fiance, who was my girlfriend at the time, and she was just like, dude, it's not working. And I'm like, no, like,
Right.
if I work hard at
Yeah.
this, like, I don't, not to say I don't have to ever worry about money, but money is going to probably be the last thing that I have to worry about if I can just figure this out. And
Right.
year after year, it just didn't work. At least to the
Didn't
point
work.
where I was content. So it's just like, all right,
Right.
let's switch it up. And then when I found real estate and just matching up my personality and, that type of work ethic with something that's tangible as far as real estate,
Mm-hmm.
uh, game changing, completely changed everything around. And, it's all
Oh,
about fitting that
absolutely.
circle peg in that circle hole.
Right.
So,
Yep.
all right. So you've
Yep.
had that
So I
ability.
saw it. So yeah, being able to, you got to know where, like, I knew real estate. I would always love photography. Love it. It was my happy place. If you want to talk about going your happy place, that's the happy place. I'm creating something and it's enjoyable. But when we talk about means of living or having a sustainable life or lifestyle, I know real estate is always going to be my go-to or fallback because I know it. It's never going to change, and it's easy. And what I mean by it being easy is oftentimes people overthink themselves right into a bad trade, or a bad career choice, or they live on hope. I hope this works out. I hope, instead of knowing what you're doing, practicing it, taking your lumps, taking your lessons. You got to look at life and say, okay, what did this bad situation teach me, so that the next time this bad situation presents itself, I already have the life lesson. So when I think about real estate, and you think about bubbles, that bubble popped in '08, cool. What did I learn from it? Well, I know when values are inflated, when this happens and when that happens, this bubble is going to pop. Where do you move on to next? Well, the next thing is that it's going to be buy and hold. Like, we probably have 2 years and we're going to see another '08 pop. So if you are flipping, flip like crazy now, when the bubble pops, buy and hold. Buy everything you can and hold it for the next 7-8 years. Turn those into rentals and just sit on it. So you can get your savings by flipping now. And then once that bubble pops in the next 2 years, then you're buying and holding, turning the cash flow. Now you got your good nest egg of savings from your flips. You have your residual income from your rentals. Now you just sit back and wait. You ain't got to do nothing but sit back and wait. Your rental values are going to come back up in the next 7, 8 years. And you can turn around and sell them and make money and then go back into the flipping cycle. So real estate it's all secular. It's secular. And if you haven't figured that out by now, I've been in it for a while, so I kind of see the patterns and I kind of see what's going on. That's what helps me kind of, I don't say stay ahead of anything, but I'm prepared.
Exactly. And
I'm anticipating. Yep. And I'm prepared to move on with that market. Like I'm doing mortgages now. I know in 2 or 3 years, it's going to be hard. If I'm not established now and I don't have a name now and people aren't coming to me and I have that solid database of regular mortgages coming in, it's going to be difficult to get new business when the bubble pops. Underwriting guidelines have gotten tighter. There aren't enough houses. Well, there's not enough houses out there now for as many buyers as there are, but there are no buyers for the houses that are going to be out there. And it turns into a refi market. And so now I got to focus on refis, but everybody has 5 and 6s. Now I got to worry about their rates. So,
and it's so interesting that you touched on that, right? Because right before we get into kind of what you're doing, on a day-to-day basis now at this very moment, it's one of the things that some people will talk to me about, and they're like, is it a good time to buy? And I'm just like, well, technically, it's always going to be a good time to buy. Like it's never a wrong time to buy. It's just how are you buying? Where do you planning on buying? And it's the same thing with. And so many people are like, what if the market crashes? And it's like, great, we're all waiting for it. Like, can't wait. Like, this will be the perfect opportunity, right? Because with chaos comes opportunity. And, I feel like people have the worry of so many external factors that, it distracts them from the actual opportunity. Like the opportunity is always going to be there. It's just, what are you looking to do? And, or, even coming down to financing, and which is why I'm such a preacher of FHA and using FHA to purchase a multifamily. Or if you have, if you have a significant other, doing it in 2 separate names. Because of the simple fact that and I say it all the time, and I use this analogy all the time, if Apple, if Google, if Coke, if any of these obviously these Fortune 500 companies, if anybody were to put their business up for sale for 3.5% down, it's a no-brainer. You buy the business. So real estate is the same exact thing. And to tie it all together, me buying a property now, to be honest with you, I can buy a full turnkey, already renovated property. Even if I do it with 3.5% down, it's a great investment. And the only reason why it's a great investment is because I'm putting down 3.5% down, right? Like it doesn't have to be, the gut it, fix them up, although you're getting more value out of that, absolutely. But, I was just saying that so there's always opportunity. It's just how you go about it. Same thing with hard money. Like, yes, like the fees, the points, the interest rates, they're all higher. So what? Factor it into the analysis. Do the numbers work? Like that's all that matters. And, so it's.
Well, people get so worked up on what the other guy is making when it comes to the hard money. They're like, hey, they're going to make more money than me. Well, then become a hard money lender and figure that out if you want more money for less work.
That's it.
But you can't get tied up and wrapped up in you got to make the numbers work, like you said. You got to make the numbers work. If you can't make the numbers work, then guess what? It's not a good deal, and you move on. Don't get married to a deal because you like the location or you like this or you like that, and it's just perfect. But if the numbers ain't perfect, then why in the world would you want to pick it up?
And the funny part about it is that even if it was a good deal and you were so wrapped out about, how much the other guy's going to make or the other gal is going to make, I guarantee you, go ahead, no problem, walk away, because there surely will be another investor that'll just factor it into
Somebody
their
else.
numbers. And if it works, the
Yep.
numbers work. That's it. That's all that matters with it. That's awesome.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we got an idea of how you got started, the experiences that led you up to this point. So what exactly are you doing now? I know you have the plans for the future during the bubble. I know you've done different things in the past. What are you doing right now? What's your day to day?
So my day to day, you may give you like just a play by play, what time I wake up and how my day plays out.
We'll go into that when we start talking about the mindset, but just job title, responsibilities, who can be of value to you, things like that.
Yep. So I am a senior mortgage loan officer for Flagstar Bank. My day to day is really networking, letting my realtor partners know about our products, how our products are better than other lenders or institutions, making sure my clients are well informed, and to just communicating with my realtor partners, letting them know the deals that we do have going. I'm huge because I'm big into communication. I'm big into networking, that. But at the same time, one thing I know, and you can probably attest to this, is you send your client to Jason, lender Jason, and then you never hear from lender Jason ever again. He's not giving you an update on what's going on, and you're always having to reach out, and you're always having to, hey, what's going on? Hey, what's this? Hey, what's that? And over the realtors that have been around, that annoys them. So when I meet a new realtor partner, I'm like, what's your biggest pet peeve with a lender? Like, I never hear from them. I hear from them, thanks for the referral, and then, okay, we're about to close. And some realtors like to be informed. Some realtors don't care. But some realtors want to know, hey, what's the next step? Is appraisal gone? Is there anything I can do to help? So I like keeping my realtor partners informed at least once a week. Hey, this is what we're waiting on. Hey, this is the next thing. Because there's sometimes, believe it or not, I'll get started with a borrower, and then I won't hear from the borrower ever again. And I'm like, hey, I need an updated pay stub, and then I never hear from them. So I let the realtor know, hey, I've been trying to get a pay stub from this person for a while. Can you help me out? And, you get a realtor is going to help get whatever you need sometimes. I don't like doing that because I don't want you doing my job. But if they're not responding, somebody's got to help me out. But yeah, as far as day to day, man, network. I do a lot of voicemail drops, a lot of email campaigns to my realtor partners, but also too, I work with a couple different branches, and so I educate those personal bankers on the branch side to look for opportunities, to have conversations with our customer base on buying a home, so that I can then come back to you and be like, hey, Austin, I got 2 people looking to buy. I already got them pre-qualified. Here you go. I would rather call my realtor and be like, hey, I got a referral for you, than to be calling my realtor and be like, hey, what you got? Hey, what you got? Hey, what you got? So I try to be different from that aspect of separate myself, add value to you as my realtor partner. I want you to see the value of working with me. Hey, he's not just going to be hitting me up for somebody, but he's actively trying to find me clients also. That goes a long way. So a lot of my day-to-day stuff, like you say, I wear a suit twice a week when I go to church. The rest of the time, I'm in my pajamas, unless I'm meeting somebody at the branch. Everything is over text and email. All of my clients, it's usually the older clients that I meet at the branch that don't have email or internet. But yeah, for the most part, man, my day to day is just networking, trying to brainstorm with realtors, doing, seminars, working with the VA, just anything and everything I can to generate referrals to give back to my realtor partners.
And it's so interesting you said that because I actually have a small jealousy towards mortgage officers, and the main reason why is because of what you just said. Like for the agent, we actually have to physically be there, essentially.
Right.
Unless we're running a team and certain things like that, but there's still a portion that you have to actually be there in order to create here's what I'll say. In order to create the new money that comes into the pipeline, it's only on two occasions. Either one, when you're with the buyer in front of the home that they're going to submit an offer that gets accepted. That gets accepted. Right? Because you can show a buyer 20 homes, but you could create no new money off of that. So the only two times is when you're in front of a buyer, in front of the home of which they're going to put an offer that gets accepted and actually closes. We won't even go into that. Number two is if I'm in front of a seller and I get a new listing agreement signed, or if I'm wholesaling it, I get the wholesale agreement signed or anything like that. But those are the only two times. Outside of that, everything else I can do from the beach, or everything else I can do from home, which sometimes I do, which is awesome. But mortgage officers, lenders, they have the complete ability to work strictly from home, work strictly from wherever, and still have the opportunity to make money. And that is my only small jealousy. But outside of
that's very true. When I got started, I was working out of my apartment, and I didn't have to see anyone. Everything was through. Even back then, I really didn't have to see anyone. I did everything over the phone, outside of picking up pay stubs and W-2s and whatnot. But now everything is electronic. We have a portal that our customers log into where they upload their pay stubs and they upload their W-2s. We have those things like that. Man, they allow us to. Our online application is a breeze and it's easy. I generally will just give someone my website and let them log on, and then it's done. And they fill out the application. I'll give them a call just to double check. Hey, this is right. This is correct. This is how long you've been there. Yep, great, cool. Or I shoot them a text. Hey, what's your this? What's your that? Even now, even if somebody doesn't have internet, take a picture of your W-2 and text it to me. I'll take that also. Take a picture of your pay stub and text it to me. So it is very rare. I think the only time I see my clients is at closing. And that's like the first time that I see them face to face. We can do mortgages in all 50 states. So I'm even at a point now where sometimes I can't go to closing because it's in another state. But
that's a good problem to have.
But that doesn't mean that they don't get A1 service. I'm all about service. And that's another thing I tell I work 24/7. And in real estate, if you're going to be in real estate, guess what? You work 24/7. That means Sunday at 6:00 at night, you got to answer your phone.
All of it.
Friday at 8:00 at night, when you're at dinner or you're doing this, you got to answer your phone, because Friday nights, Saturday and Sunday are the days that your client can go look at houses.
Yep.
You can go and show. So you, as a realtor, you need to know, hey, when I call my lender and I need an approval letter because we're about to make an offer, I need to know I can get that approval letter in 5 minutes. So I have on my cell phone, I can do everything from my cell phone. Approval letter, you call me up, hey, offer was accepted. I need an approval letter for da-da-da-da-da. You got it in 5 minutes.
And you mentioned that individuals can go to your website, fill out an application or fill out the pre-approval because some individuals, and some individuals tell me like, hey, listen, I'm ready to go next week. In that case, go get pre-approved, no problem. And then some individuals say, hey,
Yep.
listen, like I'm, kind of thinking about 6 months out, but wanted to get an idea. And
Yeah.
so with that online application, is that the pre-approval in which they're getting their credit ran as well, or do they also offer pre-qualifications where, it's kind of taking everything but, except for the credit and being able to generate a number. It doesn't have to be the official number, but at least a guideline that they
Yeah.
can go off of.
What
Do
they
they have
have.
both options, or is it automatically running their credit?
It does. So when you put in an application online, it is not an automatic credit pool because one of the things that we do have to collect in order to authorize pulling credit is driver's license number, expiration date, and that I call. And so you put in your application, and it's not a full application because it leaves off the income. That way we don't have to do disclosures and all of that out the gate. So the income is left blank and driver's license numbers left blank. So after I get an application, I look at it, kind of work it up. Then I'll give them a call and say, okay, credit score wise, somebody might put in, what their credit score is, because there's a spot where they can say, well, what their credit score is. So we have two options. I can pull that, and we can do just kind of general pre-qual. Okay, based on what you make, you can kind of generally I tell most people can afford 2 times their annual, 2 to 2.5 times their annual, based on whatever outside debt that they may have. If they have higher outside debt, and car payments and student loans and all that, then it's going to lessen how much you can afford to buy because of your debt to income ratios. But if we're just talking pre-qual and we're just kind of having a phone conversation, and you say, yeah, I make $50,000 a year, I got about $700 a month in bills, credit cards, car notes, and my credit score is 700, then I can say, okay, yeah, well, you can afford this much, and that's just a basic pre-qual, and I haven't pulled credit, and I'm strictly going off of what you told me. So
I know that is the disclaimer. Like, this is what you told me.
This is what you told me. So, based on what you told me, not what you proved, but what you told me, this is what you can do. Now, if we want to go full board pre-approval, and for us, a pre-approval is I get your W-2s, I get your pay stubs, tax returns, and I give it to underwriting. And underwriting underwrites it and says, yes, based on their income, based on their credit, this is what they can afford. They are conditionally approved. What I like to do is I like to gather all your information up front, get you to underwriting, and they underwrite all of it. So the only stipulation I have left is appraisal and title. That's how I close my stuff in 13 days,
and
13 to 15 days.
And so 2 questions before we move on. One, is it just residential loans that you're handling, or can people come to you for other types of loans, or is it just mainly residential?
I'm strictly residential.
Okay, and then the second question is, if individuals wanted to fill out that application, where could they go to?
Where do they go? Yep, so they go flagstar.com/T Davis. So
Okay.
flagstar.com/T Davis, and you'll actually see me in a suit.
The one time, and I'm pretty sure, is it a generic picture? Is it a generic picture that you, like, everyone has the one headshot that they took, when they first started, and they just keep recycling that headshot, and then that's it.
No, it was actually for an advertising campaign. So full on studio and suit and tie and all that fun stuff. But it's now the only picture that I really use because it's the one where I look decent. From that,
That's that's
um,
yeah. I'll never forget that. So, um, okay, so moving on from that, and so obviously the day to day, you're in the trenches handling loans on the
yep,
residential side, but obviously we also
yep,
have the experience on the investment side. But
yep,
altogether, we can easily say that you are a true professional in real estate, and this is some of the things that I strive for. Like as far as the real estate professional, I say that, hey, listen, have your niche, have what you're awesome at, because when people see you as a resource and when people see you as valuable, eventually they're going to start coming to you with other things that maybe they
yep,
can use your solution on. So in your case,
yep,
as we were talking earlier, you're handling mortgages, you're handling loans, you're handling the funding part, and then all of a sudden, every now and again, people will start throwing other opportunities at you, and those opportunities have
yep,
come in the forms of other investments. Before we
yep.
get into the rehabs, the funding of those investment properties, before we get into that, let's talk about the mindset of being a professional in real estate. And the reason why I asked is because I forgot who told, or actually, it might have been my last guest, I think it might have been my last guest. And he was saying that, individuals that go into real estate kind of have that FU society kind of mentality. And I thought that was so funny because although I wasn't necessarily like F society, like I'm doing my own thing,
Right.
I was doing my own thing. You know what I mean? So, what do
Yep.
you think is the mindset that you need to have? Because obviously you've done it in the investments, you've done it in residential mortgages, you've have multiple facets of it. What do you think the mindset has to be for anyone who's looking to succeed in real estate?
One is just being patient. You have to have patience that is patience and endurance, because real estate there it's not a 9 to 5. I'm not going to a 9 to 5. I don't have a salary. I'm not guaranteed to make anything this month if I'm not getting up and putting in the work ethic. So being being patient for those deals to come, having endurance when the deals don't come, but having the work ethic to get out there every day and grind. It is a grind, period.
Would you say it's more mindset, more, other than mechanics? Like, what do you think it's mindset over what you're doing on the daily to day basis as far as like to generate business or?
Um, Mindset wise, there's a level of, so my mindset for me is I'm a helper. I want to see. It's saying that there's more happiness in giving than receiving. So for me to be a professional in real estate, I love helping people make their dreams come true, because real estate is the largest purchase anyone is going to make in their life, right? So it's the hugest investment, and it's a important life decision, and I'm able to help them reach that goal. The fact that they never thought that they would be able to own something or buy a house, and I'm able to structure the deal and help them and things of that nature. And then so that's more of the new home buyers that I work with, so helping. So my mindset is the more people I help, the more happy I will be. The more happy I will be, the more money I'll make. And it just flows naturally that way. Because everyone I don't say everyone, but there are a lot of people out there, they hate their job, they hate where they work, they hate the person in the cubicle across the street, that sits across from them, and they're unhappy. But it's a job, and it pays the bills. But when you're in a place, a job of doing something that you thoroughly enjoy doing, that makes you happy, a mindset of being happy, and I'm helping someone, money is just going to flow naturally, because it's not, you don't hate waking up. Like Monday mornings, man, I can't wait to get up and start
Fired
working.
up. Sunday
I'm
Sunday
ready to
evening,
go.
fired up. Like whatever,
Yeah.
because the weekend, I use it to take time, not time away. I'm still
Mhm.
handling things, but it gives me the opportunity where it's not the hustle and bustle of the work week is all I'm comparing it to. And
Right.
it just gives me some time to reflect. What things do I want to implement and things like that. So by the time Sunday comes, like I can't wait to go to work. And there was
Yeah.
two other things that I wanted to point out that you mentioned in regards to mindset and helping people, and even the people that don't like their jobs. It's so funny, and the reason why I ask about mindset, because mindset like determines your whole entire like lifestyle or even just health when it comes down
Yep.
to thoughts, right? And it's so
Mhm.
funny that you say that. So many people hate their job, right? And even the memes and like the social media posts where it's like the jobs pay us so we can forget our dreams and yada yada, and like everyone
Yeah.
riles around it and then like that,
Yeah.
and it's like I find it so, I don't want to say disrespectful, but first off, if you didn't have this job, you'd be pissed off. So let's
Mhm.
start finding ways to be grateful or change it. Do one of the two. But it's a worse situation to be in a job that you hate, don't love, and then you're not grateful that you even have the job
Have a
for the
job.
things to even get paid for.
Yep.
Paid for.
And you only get more. You only get more out of life when you're coming from a mentality, an attitude of gratitude. If you ain't grateful for, guess what? If you ain't grateful for what you got, you ain't gonna get more. That's
You're not.
universal law.
You're not. And the only other thing was like the helping people, right? Because for when I wasn't in the business, and obviously on the outside, when I'm in the mundane day to day cubicle, well, I won't say cubicle because cubicle that I didn't like or anything like that. I
Mhm.
never like. I was never ungrateful. Like I was always happy that I at least did have that right off the bat. But like the help, at least from the outside looking in, and when you hear about people and people that like are in sales or in in a career that they make a lot of money helping people, and they're like, yeah, I just want to, having the ability helping people makes me happy. And I'm like, well, yeah, that
Yep.
makes you happy because it's it's giving you all this money. But not until I got into real estate, I get more joy. It's ridiculous. I
Mhm.
get more
Mhm.
joy putting the deal together, like finding a way to put the deal together that didn't seem possible. And then
Yep.
as a result, my client gets this, my client gets a new home, my client gets an investment property, my client is happy, my client's created more
Yep.
wealth. And in turn, that makes me happy. And then as a byproduct, I get paid to do that. You know what I, like you know
Yep.
what I mean? Like it's the
And,
difference.
and and not only that, but then it winds up being residual, because that person is going to tell another person, going to tell another person, going to tell another person. Austin was so great. He did this for me. He made sure. Da da da. You got to use them if you ever, you need to use them. And then your business just grows from there. But like you say, it has to come from that helping attitude. I love negotiating. Oh, I love negotiating because it was just fun to do. But like you said, when you're able to make something happen and a deal work out, and that person is beyond excited and they're happy and they're grateful to you, and you're grateful that you made them happy, they are going to tell more and more people about you. And then your business just continues to grow and grow from there.
And that's exactly why I don't spend a ton of money on marketing.
Me
For
neither.
one to
Me
start,
neither.
yeah, I know you sent me over like the marketing piece that you did have, and
Mm-hmm.
that's free from the company. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's I even when I first started, I didn't have much money, so it was like, hey, listen, I'm gonna have to dig in deep, and seeing it grow
Yep.
from there. Like I'm not gonna spend money on marketing. I might spend a little bit of money on marketing just to already boost what I'm doing
Right. What's already
organically.
going.
Exactly.
Yep.
But that's about it. So yeah,
Yep.
it's yes, growing your business organically. So seeing that you've grown your business organically and having an opportunity to connect with different individuals and then found yourselves in a couple of positions to find investment opportunities. Real quick, just touch back on it. How were you kind of finding these investment deals, these investment opportunities? And what do you think the common pitfalls are, because everyone wants to be a real estate investor until like it comes down to the work and the nitty gritty. And one of the biggest
Right.
complaints, right? Because there's two of them: I can't find deals or I don't have enough money. Both are false, right? So what
Oh,
are
absolutely.
what are the common pitfalls that either you've experienced or if you've seen other people experience when it comes down to finding deals?
They're scared. They're scared that they're going to find a deal but not have money to make the deal, put the deal together. And that's the biggest thing is, yeah, I want to do it. They might have a little chunk of money, 20, 30 grand that they've saved or whatever, 401 or who knows what, but fear. My favorite quote from Will Smith: the best things in life are on the other side of fear.
I love and hate that quote at the same time. I love it because I love it because I know what it means, but I also hate it
Yep.
because I know what it means. And
You know what it means. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You
You gotta do it.
You just gotta do it. That's the only thing you can do is you gotta do it. So me, it was so if you're scared, so if it is a fear thing, I'll tell you what, the other thing that I didn't realize is real estate investors love investing in real estate. So if they love investing in real estate, you actually have and can make more money by creating more investors out there, whether it's you mentoring someone or finding a mentor. So if it's a fear thing, I don't have any money, I don't know where to find a deal, guess what? Call a We Buy Home sign, take them out to lunch. That is how I got started. Call a We Buy Home sign. Hey, I'm thinking about getting into real estate, da-da-da-da-da-da. Can I take you out to lunch, pick your brain? Heck yeah, we love free food. And we love to talk, and we talk about what we love doing. If we love real estate, then yeah, I'm going to tell you everything I can, and I'll help you out. Because what winds up happening is me, as the guy who has the We Buy Home signs out there, the guy might call me, but the guy calling me, he might have $100 grand sitting somewhere looking to buy something and he doesn't know. And I just so happen to just have picked up a deal and I can wholesale it to him for $5 grand. And so now I got a free lunch and I sold a house for $5 grand that I only owned for 2 days.
And it's all part of work. You know what I mean? Like it's
that's
all
work. Yeah.
work. Like that's work. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't feel like work, but it's work.
Yep.
Okay.
When it doesn't feel like work, that's when you make the most amount of money. When it doesn't feel like, oh, I gotta punch a clock. Oh, I gotta do this. It's like, no, I'm about to go have lunch. Oh, he just so happens to have $100,000. Oh, I just so happen to have this deal. And now we're best friends for life. 15 years later, we're still flipping deals back and forth to each other.
I love it.
That is really how real estate investing goes. So if somebody wants to get started in real estate investing, find your local real estate investment club charter, get to one of your seminars, call a We Buy Home sign, because some of those We Buy Home signs are just straight bird dogs where that's all they do is go find you deals, and then you just pull money out of your 401 or whatever. And if you don't have money, the We Buy Home signs guy might know a hard money guy who helped him get started. Oh, you need money? Like my guy Brent. Brent was like, oh, you don't have any money? Call Tim. Tim's got money. Tim, here's the deal, da-da-da-da-da. All right, Tim gives me the money, and now I'm rolling, and I'm into my first deal, and I didn't use any of my own money, and it cost me $26 to take Brent out for lunch.
And that's exactly how, and that's exactly how it happens. People kind of expect that every single time. And, not only that, and you mentioned fear, right? But
Mm-hmm.
people feel like they should never be like fearful, and it's just like, no, that's not the point. Like
Right.
fear is a very, very worthy emotion. Like if you have a tiger
Mm-hmm.
running at you, you don't have time to analyze like whether this is a bad situation or
Right.
not. So your fear is going to kick
Right.
in, and your fear causes your flight or fight, and it impulsively kicks you into high gear, whether that's running, whether that's ducking, whether that's, I don't know, pulling out a gun at you, I don't know, whatever the case. But it
Yep.
instinctively helps you to do something. So fear is a great thing. It's just the fact that you have to understand like what fear also is, right? And it's no
Yes.
problem if you have fear, just do it scared. That's what I say.
Yep.
Like there's no
Yep.
problem having fear, just do it scared. Like and but you're doing it is all
The
that matters.
and the worst case scenario, the absolute worst case scenario, is you're going to learn a life lesson.
The
That is
worst.
your worst case scenario, is that you're going to learn how not to do something, and you learn quicker by failing. Fail fast, fail often to success. And that's the only way to do it. Because it's only going to take you that one deal to be like, I will not do that again. And then the next deal, you know not to do it because it cost you $2 or $3 grand. Okay, I'm not gonna do it that way. I'm not ever gonna do it again. I'm never gonna do it that way again. That's another thing that keeps people from investing in real estate. Is they might do 1 or 2 deals. The first one they only made $3 or $4 grand when they were expecting to make 20 because they didn't budget for who knows what. And then they stop, and then they're like, oh, yeah, I tried investing in real estate. That's a scam. No, you just gave up.
Exactly that. Okay, so we'll move on to funding, but you've kind of touched base on it as we start our descent. But as
Like hard
far as
money.
yeah, like as far as funding, are you using your own cash? Are you using hard money? Are you using private money? What's your what's your go-to strategy?
My dad is a hard money lender.
Oh, that's a beautiful partnership.
So, yeah. So if I ever need anything, I go to him. My problem is where I live. Where I live is too low for the minimums for his products. I think his minimums are start at 100, whereas houses out here where I live in Battle Creek, Michigan, houses are, you're picking it up for 10, you're putting 10 into it, and you're selling it for 40, 50 kind of thing. So in instances like that, I have a couple financial planners and a construction guy that, I come across a deal and I'm like, hey, these are the numbers. What do you think? So if someone needs money, and what I would do is, you can Google hard money lenders. You got hard money lenders now that is like regular lenders, but they have, minimum loan requirements, points, and all of that stuff. Ways of getting around that. If you're in a smaller market or smaller town and you're wanting to invest, hitting up a financial planner, saying a financial planner or a CPA, take them out to lunch because they know who got money. Take them out to lunch, say, hey, and pick their brain. This is what I'm thinking of doing. This is the kind of money I'm looking at. Do you have any clients that do that? And so that's what, if I was in a smaller market, that's what I would do. Financial planners, CPAs, because they know everybody's money situation. And then real estate investment clubs, hitting those up because hard money guys go there. And you really only need 1 or 2 hard money people, because usually after you do 1 or 2 deals with one of them, they know how you work, you know how they work. And like me, it got to the point with one of my hard money guys, I just called him up. I said, hey, I need 30 grand. I was like, all right. And I had it in 5 minutes. He didn't even ask me questions of what I was doing.
Beautiful. And it's relational, and that's awesome.
Yep.
Okay, so Well, I was gonna go into lifestyle, but I'm gonna ask that as part of the core four here, as
Hmm.
part of the fun things that you like to do in your spare time. But core four of the four questions that I ask each and every guest on the Austin Smith Real Estate Podcast. So, very first question. It might be hard to answer, but what is your favorite aspect about real estate?
Negotiating,
Hmm.
putting the deal together. If we're talking about investments and whatnot, I love negotiating, putting deals together. Most of my offers are so insulting that my realtors don't like to offer them, but
If it's not
I don't
insulting,
care.
it's not a good offer in the investor world.
That's right. The thing is you can always go up. So if you're asking 50,000 for a house, I'm offering you 25, and we'll go up from there. But how do I know how low you'll go if I offer you 40 and you really would have took 30?
Exactly. And not only that, it's just that if they
So,
don't want it, they'll just deny it, and then it's no problem. Like
right,
they
there
don't
ain't no
like
skin on my back.
nothing gets reported to the cops. Like nothing gets reported. Like
Right.
here's my offer. You don't like it, you
Yeah,
reject
you don't
it.
like it? All right, cool. Counter.
If that works, accept it. Or if you have something else in mind, counter. And that's part of the negotiation. So yes,
Yep.
completely understand. If your offer is not low enough as an investor, you should not be investing.
Yeah.
Second
If they
question.
don't if they don't crumple it up and throw it at you, you didn't go low enough.
Exactly, because you're supposed to uncrumple it and then write a smaller, higher number on there and then just throw it back out there.
Exactly.
Second
Yep.
question: favorite business or personal development book?
I have two. The first one is Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And when you're talking about mindset and things like that earlier, it is all about your mentality and your mindset when it comes to what you think. All right, man, what you think and what you tell yourself and what you believe is what your life turns out to be. So if you constantly think everyone's out to get me, I'm always being screwed, guess what? You're going to put yourself in situations where you are going to continually feel that way. Think and Grow Rich is actually, I made my kids read that book because it less about for me, it was more about mentality of your thoughts as opposed to thinking and being rich with the mindset of just being materialistic. But it was more of direct focus. That's kind of what I got out of Think and Grow Rich.
Yes, and it's the book title itself, just Think and Grow Rich. Obviously, Think and Grow wouldn't have sold as many copies as Think and Grow Rich. It's just
Right.
it's. But yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. My second book is from my life coach, actually, Dr. Michael D. Amos. It's called The Road to Renovatio. And it's a guide. It's a guide to empowering the meaning-based warrior for increased work-life optimal performance. So it's all about warrior mentality, having that balance of life work. When you talk about my life and lifestyle, but having a balance of attacking whatever it is you're attacking with a warrior mindset, whether it's, so for me, it's goal setting. So if I have a big goal, I break that goal down from, if it's a goal I want to make in a year, then I break it down. What do I got to do every month? What do I got to do every week? What do I got to do every day? And I track all that in a goal book. But those are my two favorite books.
And what's the second book called? Road
to Renovatio. Renovatio. It's by Dr. Michael Amos. He's my life coach. I call him whenever I have issues, but his book is just on point. It kind of takes Think and Grow Rich with a little warrior mindset, life balance, and kind of puts it all together into one.
And it's so interesting that you mentioned life coach, because I just bought a life coach on on episode 4, I believe. Depending with the when this episode will be released. I don't want to say the last one, but the I just put them on, and I stress the importance of having a life coach. It was simply because I think that everyone needs a coach in every single aspect. You know, the six main
Yeah.
key areas of life. Like everybody needs a coach to continue to push them. But you know, kind of
Yep.
obviously spending money for six different coaches, understandable, having a life coach, but some type of coaching in general. And you're
Yep.
stressing the importance of that. So to hear you talk about that and to see how your life has materialized just from philosophy based, not, you,
Yep.
not you chilling on yachts and flying jet planes,
Right.
like none of that, but just the quality of lifestyle that you've been able to create from your philosophy, seeing that you have a life coach only further enhance or at least further affirms what I've been saying on, just personal development and having that life coach. Okay.
Yep.
Uh, I'm going to do the lifestyle as the last part. The third, where
Okay.
can people find you at? Whether if they want to contact you, whether, they're in the state of Michigan, where can people find you at?
They can find me in between Battle Creek, Kalamazoo, St. Joe, which is basically all northern or southern Michigan. But if they want to contact me, I have one number, my cell phone, 269-425-2250, or flagstar.com/T Davis. Or they can email me, Titus.Davis @flagstar.com. I'm available. I'm always around. If I don't answer, it's usually because I'm on the phone or working out. The two times I generally don't answer my phone. But I'm open and I'm available. People got questions. It doesn't matter. I love real estate, so I'm open to talk about it with whoever wants to talk.
That's awesome. And the very last question of the core four, what are the fun things that you like to do in your spare time?
Mm.
Because I've seen it
Anything that
all.
anything anything that pushes my body. So I do some CrossFit. I used to do triathlons. I'm kind of getting back into the triathlon training. And do CrossFit. Anything that's going to push my body and my mind at the same time. So those two endurance kind of workouts push yourself mentally because you want to stop mid-workout. You're like, this is dumb. I don't want to do this anymore. Why are you doing it? I'm sore. But when you push past mentally, when you can push yourself farther than you thought you could go, it strengthens your mind so that when you are dealing with situations in business and life and work and you feel like, oh, I can't do this anymore, your brain has been trained to say, nope, you can go 3 more steps. Nope, you can do 2 more reps. Nope, you can push a little harder. And anything that's going to get me to a point of mental toughness and strength, I'm all about that. That's fun for me. But then also doing anything with my kids. So we just went to Alaska, and that was fun. We're going to go to Australia and New Zealand in a couple months. That should be fun. So I like hanging out with the kids and traveling around with them. That's fun.
What would you say is the 5-year plan? Like, what are you ultimately working up towards?
So when it comes to goals, my 5-year plan is my daughter's got 4 years left of school. 5 years from now, my goal is to be able to work wherever I want to. So I may not be living in Michigan. My 5-year plan is I had gonna go to Florida and hang out in Florida for 3 weeks, and I'm gonna go to California, stay in California for a month, and I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna do this. So my goal is to be able to work. Well, right now I can work wherever I want to, but once my kids are out of high school, it's traveling wherever I want to be, working wherever I want to be. But one of the things that I do personally is I have in my mirror, in my bathroom, I have written out what all my goals are, from my spiritual goals, my physical goals, my financial goals. I have words of affirmation, things that I say to myself while I'm shaving. I have all of my monthly goals and how much I want to produce all the way to December. And then, so I have 2 columns, goals of how much I want to produce. And then the second column is what I've actually done for that month. Then I also have over the next 1, 2, I'm looking at my mirror now, 3 years, I have how much I want to make annually, how much I want to have saved annually, and how much I want to have in investment properties annually for that year. And it's broken down in 2018, 2019, 20, 21. And my gross annual is going up. All of them is going up. And then I have next to it, where I'm actually at. I look at that every time I'm in the bathroom. And the biggest thing I have written across the bottom of it is stay consistent. When it comes to goals, if I'm setting a goal, like I said, I break it down year, month, week, day, and I make sure I do whatever I need to do for that specific day, because I know it's long term, but I know if I do 20 phone calls today, it equals 4 applications at the end of the week or whatever it is. So I know this is what I have to do day in, day out, and I have to stay consistent at X, Y, Z in order to hit long-term goal. And I have that written on my bathroom mirror, and I put it out there so when guests come over, they're like, "What's all that stuff on your mirror?" They can kind of see, because it says goals and it says, read the Bible every day, get to the gym every day, get your body fat here, get your finances here. So it's like having a vision board. Vision boards are huge to have, but for me, this is all like numbers, because my life is numbers.
Right.
If I hit all those numbers, then all the other fun stuff and money and everything else it's just going to come naturally. But you got to stay consistent at it. So that's one of the big things that I would encourage anyone to do, is you have a vision board, goal board, something you're looking at on the daily to remind you what you need to be doing.
Titus, I definitely wanted to thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for sharing your insight, your knowledge. You definitely were able to provide a lot of content that our users are going to be able to put, and most importantly, implement right away, so that way they can just get one step closer. And a lot of people want to get from A to Z, including myself. I want to find out how to get from A to C, and you miss step B, step C, and as long as you just move one foot right in front of the other, just doing actionable steps, you'll move closer and closer, and you were able to provide some of those immediate actionable steps, and greatly appreciate that. So thank you, Titus. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, Austin. Have a good one.
Awesome.